Is your mind constantly racing with thoughts? Welcome to this video on mind chatter. In this video today, I will tell you what exactly is mind chatter, and if you're struggling with a lot of thoughts, a lot of mind chatter, how to overcome this constant mental chatter which could be draining your energy and find more mental peace. For that, let me start by introducing myself. Hi, I'm Kanika and I'm a healthy mind coach, and I help working professionals who are dealing with issues with stress, negative thinking, overthinking, repetitive thoughts, get out of this loop by reprogramming their mind. Listen to this video from the beginning to the end to get most out of this video today. Do you know that research shows that we spend 1/3 of our waking life either living in the past or living in imagined future scenario? We actually don't spend time living in the present moment. Some amount of mental chatter is normal. In fact, you can never do away with this mental chatter which goes on in our head. Nobody can do away with it completely. But it becomes problematic if it becomes too much. Your mental chatter becomes too much if you are under stress, if you're dealing with anxiety, or if your mind is overstimulated. I've also seen that a lot of people get stuck in this loop of repetitive thoughts which don't go away and become louder and louder as the mental chatter increases. I remember there was a point in time in my life when I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, and there were repetitive thoughts which would run from morning to evening in my mind and for months and months, and they wouldn't let me relax, they wouldn't let me have peace, they wouldn't let me go off to sleep. That's how bad mental chatter can become. Now, what happens if you have too much mental chatter running in your mind? Along with evoking a lot of negative feelings, emotions, fearful thoughts, fear, mental chatter can also lead to a lot of emotional exhaustion. It can drain your energy. It can lead to procrastination. It can prevent you from focusing. It can impact our health. It can dip our moods. It can impact our social connections, and so on and so forth. In fact, too much mental chatter can also prevent us from taking on too much pressure. Dr. Joe Dispenza says that if we focus on a problem too much, he's seen it through brain scans that the brain actually tends to become worse because we are overthinking about our problem. And why do we do overthinking about our problems? Because we want to find a solution. But becoming over-focused on the problem is not a good recipe to finding a solution to the problem. Finding a solution to the problem only happens when you have the ability to come out of your problem and look at the situation and your problem with a different lens and a different perspective. In today's video, I will share with you some tips that you can apply in your day-to-day life if you think you're going through a phase where the mental chatter is too much. But before that, don't forget to hit the like button below and subscribe to my channel so that you can receive the notifications as soon as I upload a new video. I also want to tell you that I run a program called Ultimate Mind Reboot, in which I train people how to take charge of their physical and mental health by reprogramming their mind for success. Let's understand how you can work to overcome this mind chatter. The first tip: grounding. Grounding simply requires you to find enough time to go out in a place, whether it's a place of nature, whether it's near water, whatever is available near you. If you think that there is too much mental chatter, remember you need to first ground yourself. Now, how can you ground yourself? When you go out to a place of nature, look at the green colors, hear the chirping of the birds, lay down on the grass, walk barefoot, play with the mud. These are all techniques which will help ground you and reduce the mental chatter, because nature has this uncanny ability. In fact, research has now shown again and again that nature has this uncanny ability to relax us, to make us feel more peaceful, to make us feel more grounded. In fact, what I do when I see that I'm indulging into too much mind chatter, my mind is too overstimulated, or my mind is having a lot of racing thoughts, the first thing I do is I go down into my garden and I hug a tree, I lay down on the grass and I spend time doing nothing but just looking at the green spaces around me and relaxing myself. In fact, I remember I've attended multiple retreats with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and one of the things that we do when we go for his retreats and walking meditations is that he makes sure that we do a lot of meditations out in the garden, laying on the grass, and believe me, those meditative experiences have been out of the world. Second tip that I want to give you here is becoming more aware. Now, if you're someone who's undergoing excessive mind chatter or struggles with too much mind chatter, you would have noticed that the mind chatter tends to become or increase in the middle of the night or at night. Why does this happen? Because when we are during the day, we have too many distractions. We have our work, we have our kids, we have so many other things to keep us distracted that the mind chatter does not trouble us too much. But in the silence of the night, when you don't have these distractions, there is no suppression of your real thoughts. That's when the mind chatter tends to increase, and we have these repetitive loop thoughts that do not allow us to relax or feel emotionally drained. So one rule of thumb that I follow is any mind chatter that I have between 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the middle of the night, I do not trust it, because my most fearful thoughts, my most suppressed thoughts are overacted during this duration of time. In fact, what I do instead is I wake up and I listen to that mind chatter and I tell myself not to believe this mind chatter because it is coming in the middle of the night. And the other thing that I do is, if the mind chatter is too excessive, it is evoking too much fear, I ask myself that how would I feel about the same thought maybe a week from now, maybe a month from now, or maybe a year from now. And typically what I find is this mind chatter tends to reduce when I ask questions like this to myself. Third tip that I want to give here is coaching yourself with using your name and using the word you. Now, why does this help and what do I mean by this? Have you seen how good we are at giving advice to our friends? The simple reason is because we are not in that problem, and when we are not in that problem, we have a better perspective of the whole situation and we're able to give better advice to someone struggling with that problem. The same thing applies to us. If you think that your mind chatter is too much, then you need to coach yourself. How can you coach yourself? This is what I do. So if I think that there is a thought which has become repetitive, looped, and it is troubling me, I ask myself, I treat myself as my best friend and I ask myself, Kanika, do you really want to believe this thought? Can you pick up a better feeling thought? The act of coaching yourself with your own name, using the word you, helps you come out of that situation, come out of that problem, and really have a better perspective on what solutions will work for you in order to overcome that issue. Fourth thing that you can try doing if the mental chatter is too much, and this technique has really worked wonders in my life, and it is called venting. Now, when I say venting, a lot of people like to talk about their problems, and like I mentioned before, like Dr. Joe Dispenza says, that if you talk too much about your problem, the brain tends to actually become worse over a period of time. So when I talk of venting, I don't just mean that you go out and vent your internal thoughts and feelings to someone just to get sympathy, just to lighten your mood or lighten your load. What I mean here is talking out to a friend, to a person that you trust, who can actually give you a better perspective of your problem. So you share your problem, but you share it with someone who can actually give you a better perspective and help you see the situation from a different angle and help you find solution to your problem. I have a group of friends around me who I always reach out to whenever I'm struggling with something in my life which I'm not able to overcome and I need a solution for. And I know that these people actually put the right perspective in place for me, and I'm able to find my way out of a problem. So try this approach. Don't use venting just for the sake of venting and feeling lightened, but use venting appropriately so that you can get a better perspective of your problem and find solution to your issue. These were my 4 tried and tested techniques. Let's quickly recap what I shared in this video today with all of you. Always remember, all of us have some kind of a mind chatter going on at all times. But if your mind chatter becomes too much, understand that either you're suffering from anxiety, stress, or overstimulation of your nervous system. Brain scans have actually shown that if you overthink about your problem or if you get stuck in a loop of repetitive thoughts, it tends to make your brain worse. So don't overindulge in thinking about your problem. You can use techniques like grounding, coaching yourself with your name and the word you, using venting appropriately to talk to a friend who can give you a better perspective of your problem, and building your awareness that any mind chatter which comes in the middle of the night between 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. is not something that you should trust, and you should wait for the day to begin so that you can think about your problem from a better perspective. If you like my video today, do not forget to hit the like button below and subscribe to my channel. And also, I would love to hear from you in the comments section about any other topic that you would like me to talk about in my next video. If you would like to work with me one-on-one, you can enroll in my program, the Ultimate Mind Reboot Initiation Program, in which I help working professionals overcome stress, negative thinking, overthinking, which is impacting their personal and professional life, and reach for success. And I, Kanika, your healthy mind coach, will see you next week again with a new video on a different topic. Till then, bye.